Yeah. In the last class, we was discussing about intrinsic material. Okay. So anyone, can you tell me, or anyone, will you summarize what we was discussed in the last class? Just within a minute.
Just we are summarizing about this, what instantic materials, what structure, how it is made, like that properties. On the basis of that, we are studying that. So
Okay.
what
What
happens
about?
to same sir, when electrons move from that place to what place? N is equal to P of Ni. What we were discussing, sir. Total number of electrons and
Number of
moles.
electron, it will be equal to number of hole, it will be equal to number of semiconductor intrinsic material. Okay. At the same time, the second equation, what the second equation says to us, number of recombination, it will be equal to number of generation. Okay. So this all about we was discussed about in the intrinsic semiconducting material. At the same time, we also list out few disadvantages of the intrinsic semiconducting material. Okay. What are those disadvantages of the intrinsic semiconducting material? The first disadvantage, current controlled by temperature, not by us. Means what? When you are keeping changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to some degree Kelvin, it may be a 50 degree Kelvin or 100 degree Kelvin or 200 or 300, whatever it may be. When you are keep on changing the temperature, few electron, it will get the additional energy in the valence band. Those electron finally it will move to the conduction band. That electron, it will be start act like an free electron. Means that electron only helping us to conduction of an current. So hence you keep on just varying the temperature. With respect to temperature, the current fluctuations, it will be there. Okay, current fluctuation, it will be there. Okay, I will give you one small example. If you are using an intrinsic semiconductor for fabrication of an PN junction diode as well as the silicon transistor, it may be NPN transistor or it may be a PNP transistor, whatever it may be. If you are using that, now you keep on changing the temperature. You need not to keep on changing the temperature. Obviously, every 5 minutes once or every minute, that surrounding temperature, it will be keep on changing. Correct. So in the afternoon at 1 o'clock, some temperature will be there. In the evening 4 o'clock, some temperature will be there. In the night time, in the midnight, some temperature will be there in the surroundings. Okay. So based on the temperature, the current, it will be start fluctuating. The current, it will be start fluctuating. Actually here we are not going to do anything extra, just we put that experimental setup in some medium. Okay. So that actually we are exposed to the air. Okay. When the temperature is keep on varying, based on that the current is also fluctuating. Okay. So that is the one drawback in the intrinsic semiconducting material. At the same time, intrinsic means what? The purest form of the silicon material. Okay. If you are using the purest form of the material for the fabrication of so on so devices, the stability of those devices, it will be very small. Okay. That is the another disadvantages of the intrinsic. Okay. The second disadvantage, current is very small. Okay. For running some experimental setup, you required 1000 amperes of an current. 1000 amperes of an current. Okay. So up to what extent you can increase the temperature? For that also some limitations, it will be there. You can maintain some 1000 degrees Celsius of an temperature, but that the electron capable to receive the additional energy only 2.5 electron volt. Up to that the energy it will be receiving. After that also, if you trying to give the energy to that electron, obviously that devices, it will be start burnt off. Okay. So in that situation, we are not able to generate the maximum ampere of an current with the help of an intrinsic. That is the second disadvantage. And the third disadvantage, we are always prefer Ne not equal to Nh for the device fabrication. Ne not equal to Nh for the device fabrication. But unfortunately, in the intrinsic semiconducting material, this equation is not same. The equation in the intrinsic semiconductor, it will be equal to Ne, it will be equal to Nh. Ne, it will be equal to Nh. Ne, it will be equal to Nh means what? How many number of electron you are going to remove from the valence band, that many number of volts it will be created in the valency. Okay. That is the meaning of Ne, it will be equal to Nh. These are all the drawbacks we was listed after discussion of an intrinsic semiconducting material. Now we will move to the extrinsic. Along with that, how we are going to overcome this three disadvantages what we was listed. Okay, so now what is extrinsic semiconducting material? What is extrinsic? Intrinsic, it is the purest form of the silicon or any semiconducting material is called as an intrinsic material. Okay, so what about extrinsic material? Anyone, will you tell me?
By doping of pentavalent and trivalent components.
Yeah, it may be any impurity.
An impure form of semiconductor.
Yeah. Okay, the mixture of impurity as well as the purest form. When you are trying to add some of the impurity atom to the purest form of the silicon, that combination or that mixing only we are called as an extrinsic material. Okay, so due to doing this kind of an mixing with the purest form of the silicon, what are the parameter you are going to enhance? What are the parameter you are going to enhance other than what are the disadvantages we was listed in the intrinsic? That we will justify later after discussion of an extrinsic material. We will do the justification for disadvantages of the intrinsic semiconducting material. Now my question is, if we are doping some pentavalent impurity or trivalent impurity, what are the thing or what are the parameter of the device you are going to enhance? Which parameter?
Conductivity, sir.
Exactly, the conductivity of the material, it will be become more. Okay, the conductivity will be become more means what about the resistance?
Less.
Resistance, it will be less. Resistance, it will be decreases. Conductivity will be increases of that particular material. Okay, so enhancing these two parameters, we are going to use the extrinsic material for the fabrication of so on so devices. It may be a PN junction diode, or it may be a transistor, or it may be a JFET, MOSFET, your triac, diac, whatever. Okay, so we are going to use the extrinsic semiconducting material. Okay, so this is the meaning of extrinsic material. Then we will move to the types of an extrinsic material. How many types of extrinsic materials are there? Based on which type of an impurity atom you are going to add it to the purest form of the silicon, based on that we will get the category. If you are adding the pentavalent impurity, that kind of an device or that kind of an semiconducting slab, we are called as an N-type semiconducting material. If we are doping the trivalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon atom, that kind of an preparation or that kind of an fabrication of a slab, we are called as an P-type semiconducting material. Okay, so before going to the detailed discussion of fabrication of N-type, fabrication of P-type, anyone can you tell me in N-type which is the majority charge carrier and which is the minority charge carrier? At the same time, in the P-type also, which is the majority charge carrier and which is the minority charge carrier? Starting from N-type, in the N-type, which is the majority and which is the minority?
N-type electrons majority charge carriers, sir. P-type holes are majority charge carriers.
Okay, you keep in your mind, you have to give an answer after that. Okay, you only told yes. Electrons are the majority, okay. Holes are the minority. Electrons are the majority, I will accept it. I will accept because of you are adding a pentavalent impurity. That pentavalent impurity consisting of an 5 valence electron in the outermost shell. Okay, that's fine. One free electron it will be created. But what about the hole? How the hole it will be created when you are start adding the pentavalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon atom?
Normal intrinsically ಯಾವ ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ತರನೇ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಹೋಲ್ಸ್ ಗಿಂತ.
Okay, that we will discuss little bit later after the fabrication process. The same time, the P-type semiconducting material, holes are the majority charge carriers and electrons are the minority charge carriers. Okay, so now we will see the first fabrication of an N-type semiconducting material. Fabrication of N-type. N-type means what? Pentavalent impurity we needed to add. Anyone can you tell me? Correct. So I mean in your periodic table, which column it will be give a pentavalent impurity to us? Pentavalent element. Here we called as an impurity, but in your periodic table simply or generally you can call it as an atom, or generally you can call it as an element. Okay, in which column? Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, something like that. You are going to give some name to that particular element, right? Common one, column 1 element, column 2 element, column 3 element, something like that. Okay, in such a way that where your pentavalent impurities are located in your periodic table. Anyone have an idea?
Sir, group 5.
Group 5, exactly, correct. So group 5 element are the pentavalent elements. Pentavalent elements means what? Silicon as well as the germanium. As you are aware, the outermost shell consisting of an only 4 valency electron. But that group fifth elements consisting of an totally
Sir,
5
14th group allo, sir. Nitrogen family 14th group.
Group 5 elements. Just check it out.
Sir,
Just check it out.
ಫೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿ ಒಂದ್ಸಾರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಿರಿಯಾಡಿಕ್ ಟೇಬಲ್
ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರದಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್ ಬರೋದು?
ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳಿ?
ಟೋಟಲ್ 18 ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್. 18 ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 14th ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಹತ್ತಾನೆ ಸರ್ ಪೆಂಟಾವಲೆಂಟ್.
Pentavalent impurity. Will you name some of the pentavalent impurities?
In this arsenic. Yes.
Arsenic, okay. Arsenic, phosphorus, antimonate. Okay.
Everything it comes under 14th group nitrogen family, sir. Okay, because in 5th group it will be in D orbital. D will be.
Okay. Just check it out with once. But in the textbook and all, in the 5th group, pentavalent impurity, they are giving like the pentavalent impurities are present in the 5th group in the periodic table, and trivalent impurities are present in the 3rd group in the periodic table. Something like that they have given to us. Okay, once again you go with that. Okay, so
15, 13 anta alva sir?
15th and
13.
Yes sir, ade.
15th is the trivalent impurity.
Boron and the trivalent, sir.
Yeah, boron, indium, aluminium, these are all the trivalent impurities. Okay, yes, as per you, group 15th is the pentavalent impurity. Group 14 is the
14 sir. 14 normal carbon ion.
Silicon, germanium.
No, I am not asking the silicon and germanium. I am asking.
Adu illa, adu next one. Adu before one, after one.
I am asking where the pentavalent impurities are located in your periodic table. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. 15.
Yes, sir.
It is the correct value?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Periodic table prakara ange, sir.
Yeah. As per periodic table only I am asking.
Yes, sir. Angadra ade, sir.
Yeah, Group 15th is the pentavalent impurity.
Yes, sir.
I am right? Okay. So as per you, trivalent impurities, which group?
13th, sir. 13th group, sir.
13th group. Group 13th is the trivalent impurity. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, so now you can take any one of the pentavalent impurities. Okay, let us take phosphorus, or let us take arsenic, and let us take the antimonate. Okay, those elements consisting of an 5 valence electron in the outermost shell, that kind of an element or atom we are called as a pentavalent atom. Okay, so any one of the pentavalent atom you are added to the purest form of the silicon, what are the process it will be happen?
One electron extra, then all combination because of covalent bond, 3 will be shared and 1 will be extra. And 4 will be shared and 1 will be extra.
Yeah, 4 will be shared and 1 will be extra. Let us check it out. This is the silicon crystal. Okay, this is the silicon crystal. This silicon crystal consisting of a number of, means n number of an silicon atom. All the silicon atom consisting of an only 4 electron in the outermost shell. When you are adding a pentavalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon lattice, what it will be happen? Just check it out here. So the center one silicon atom I am replacing, I am putting the pentavalent impurity here. Okay, so that pentavalent impurity, what it doing here, the 1 electron of the pentavalent impurity, it's sharing a 1 electron with the topmost of the silicon and forming the covalent bond. The same way, the left side, right side, as well as the bottom, it is sharing a 4 electrons with the neighbor silicon atom and forming the covalent bond, and one extra electron it will be still one extra electron it will be there. Okay, that extra electron where it will be located in your energy band diagram, that we will show in the next slide. Once we move to the next slide, I will show to you. Okay, so at the same time, now you keep on increasing the doping of an pentavalent impurity, it will be added a 1 extra electrons to us. Okay, so in such a way that, or finally we are going to conclude like, if you are trying to fabricate a n-type semiconducting material, the electrons are the majority charge carriers and holes are the minority charge carrier. This is the process or fabrication of an n-type semiconducting material. Okay, the same way coming to the fabrication of an p-type semiconducting material. Okay, for the fabrication of an p-type semiconducting material, we are going to add the trivalent impurities what are there in your periodic table. Okay, trivalent impurity means what? The outermost shell consisting of an only 3 valency electrons. Okay, that type of a material, if you add it to the purest form of the silicon atom, what it will be? The same process. The 3 electrons of the trivalent impurity, it will be sharing a 1 electron with the neighbor silicon atom and forming the covalent bond But just check it out here. This is the boron, pentavalent impurity. This is the top one, left one, right one, and bottom one is the silicon atom. Okay, so now just check it out. This electron of the boron, it's sharing a 1 electron with this silicon atom and forming a covalent bond. The same way, this electron of the boron, it's sharing a 1 electron with this silicon atom and forming the covalent bond. The same way here also, this electron of the boron sharing a 1 electron with the right side of the silicon atom and forming bottom side of the silicon electron and forming the covalent bond. But unfortunately here, the right side of the silicon atom is ready to contribute a 1 electron to forming the covalent bond. Okay, covalent bond. But unfortunately, the boron consisting of an only 3 valence electron, that all the 3 valence electron already forming a covalent bond with the neighbor silicon atom. Okay, so this silicon atom is ready to contribute, but the boron, it don't have an electron. Okay, in this situation, how the holes it will be created in the p-type semiconducting material? Anyone, will you tell me? Now after this, after 3 covalent bond formation, how the holes, number of holes it will be created in the p-type semiconducting material? From this picture, clearly you can see this is the vacancy. Okay, so due to this vacancy, I mean just directly you can say that, yeah, 1 vacancy is there for forming a 1 covalent bond. Due to this vacancy, it will be created an hole. Still further anything is happen?
Sir, boron octet achieve ಮಾಡಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್?
ಬೋರಾನ್ ಆಕ್ಟೈಡ್ ನ
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಔಟರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಶೆಲ್?
ಏನಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ?
8 electrons ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್?
Now just check it out. Okay, please mute your mic. I will tell the answer. Okay, so now just check it out. This is the crystal silicon lattice. Okay, so here just eliminate this silicon and put a trivalent impurity. It may be a boron. Okay, no problem. Okay, that boron, what it will be do here for valency stabilization? What it will be do? It will be sharing its 3 electron with the neighbor silicon. Let us take the top one, left one, bottom one, and sharing the covalent bond. Now how many electrons are there in the middle one boron atom? 2 plus 2 plus 2, totally 6. Okay, and the right side of the silicon is ready to contribute. Totally 7 electrons are there in the middle one of the boron boron atom, trivalent impurity boron atom. Okay, still it required a 1 electron for satisfying the octet rule. Still it required 1 electron for satisfying the octet rule. Now what it will be happen? As per you, the boron is not at all satisfy the octet rule.
అదే డౌట్ సార్.
It will be. It will be. Correct. So because of initially, what are the valency electrons are there? It may be in the valence band or in the isolated silicon atom, whatever it may be. That electrons having some energy, right? At T will be equal to 0. At T will be equal to 0. It have some, all the 4 electrons having some energy. Okay. So that at the same time, all the 4 electrons energy are not exactly the same. We are telling almost the same. Nowhere we didn't tell it is exactly the same. Almost it is similar. Okay. But which electron having higher energy compared to remaining 3? Compared to remaining 3 electrons, that electron it will be going out of or moving to neighbor silicon valency shell for the valency stabilization work. Okay. At the same time, now you are putting the trivalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon. Okay. Okay. So this 3 electron of the trivalent impurity, it forming the covalent bond, and 1 it will be vacanting. In this situation, what it will be happen? Just check it out with the neighbor silicon. This neighbor silicon, okay, now after sharing the electron with the boron, it have a total 5 valency electron in the outermost shell. Totally 5 valency electron in the outermost shell. Out of 5 valence electron, any one of the electron having additional energy, right? Any one of the electron having additional energy. Which electron having an additional energy, it will be start moving towards the vacancy created by the boron. Vacancy created by the boron. At the same time, even the vacancy of the boron, it will be start attracting the neighbor silicon electron. It will be start attracting the neighbor silicon electron. Okay. So after this process, electron recombination, after this process, this electron of the silicon, it will be moved to the boron side, and it will be satisfy the octet rule of the boron. And it will be satisfy the octet rule of the boron. Okay. But unfortunately, this silicon valency shell consisting of an 1 vacant place. This silicon consisting of an 1 vacant place. Okay. Once again, this vacant place, it will be attracted a 1 electron from the neighbor silicon. Okay. But whatever it may be, this process, it will be keep on moving. This valency stabilization, it will be happen at T will be equal to 0 degree Celsius itself. Okay. But the conclusion is, if you add 1 trivalent impurity, 1 hole it will be created. That hole is not only contributed by the trivalent impurity. Okay. That trivalent impurity, what you are going to add, it will be satisfy the octet rule with the help of a neighbor silicon atom. Once it will pull 1 electron from the neighbor silicon, from that neighbor silicon, it will be having an 1 hole created, 1 vacancy it will be created. For satisfying that octet rule, that neighbor silicon once again attracted a 1 electron with the adjacent silicon. Okay. In such a way that hole it will be shifting from one atom to another atom in the crystalline lattice. In the crystalline lattice. But finally, in the crystalline lattice, 1 hole it will be generated. 1 hole it will be generated. Now you keep on increasing the concentration of an adding a trivalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon. For 1 trivalent impurity, it will be produced as the 1 hole. In such a way that you keep on increasing the concentration of an doping of an trivalent impurity, that many numbers of an holes it will be created in the p-type. Okay. So hence finally we are going to say that the p-type semiconducting material consisting of an holes are the majority and electrons are the minority. Okay. This is what about the fabrication of an n-type semiconducting material and p-type semiconducting material. Now we will move to the energy band representation of both n-type as well as the p-type. What are the extra electrons it will be created in the at the time of fabrication of an n-type, and what are the holes it will be created at the time of an fabrication of an p-type, where these holes it will be accumulated and where this electron it will be accumulated. That we will show with the help of an energy band diagrams. Okay. So now everyone, will you able to see this diagram, see this picture, energy band diagram of the silicon? This picture is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you tell me what is the changes we made compared to the previous energy band what we have discussed? If you are adding a trivalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon, it will be released as the 1,1 electron, right? Correct? How much concentration of an pentavalent impurity you are going to add it to the purest form of the silicon, that many number of an electrons it will be created. That all the electrons it will be accumulated or accommodated at this particular place. Just check it out. Accommodated at this particular place. Okay, this is EC stand for energy of the conduction band, EV stand for energy of the valence band, ED stand for energy of the donor atom. Energy of the donor, energy of the donor. Donor means what? Pentavalent we also called as an donor atom, right? Because of if you keep on adding a pentavalent impurity, it will be released as the 1,1 electron. Hence we called as an donor element. Hence we called as an donor element. So hence we are using the notation ED here. Energy of the donor element, that all the electron it will be accumulated at this particular place. Now just check it out. Initially for the silicon, the energy gap somewhere around 1.2 electron volt. 1.2 electron volt. For crossing or for removing a few electron from the valency to move to a conduction band, you need to provide at least minimum of an 1.2 electron volt of an energy to the valency band electrons. Valency band electrons. When you are start keeping adding a pentavalent impurity, few electrons are accommodated at this particular position. At this particular position means this position is very near to the conduction, right? Very nearer to the conduction band. Okay, so now for moving this particular electron to the conduction band, this particular electron to the conduction band, you need not to provide or you need not to change the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin. Just you change a small variation in temperature in terms of 50 Kelvin, 100 Kelvin or less than that. Easily this electron it will be moved to the conduction band because of the gap. Just check it out, EC and ED. The gap between EC and ED, it's somewhere around 0.01 electron volt to 0.06 electron volt. 0.0 electron volt to 0.06 electron volt. This gap is very small. This gap is very small. Just you change at least 1 degree Celsius, 2 degrees Celsius in the temperature. Okay, so if you change only this much of a temperature, easily this extra electron it will be moved to the conduction. Extra electron it will be moved to the conduction. Now you keep on varying the temperature up to room degree Celsius, 25 degree or 100 degree, something like that. Even along with this electron, few electron from the valency band also it will be moved to the conduction band. Okay, so now will you tell me in the extrinsic, especially for the n-type semiconducting material, I mean still it will be holding this equation same or any changes in this equation? N will be equal to P, it will be equal to Ni. Still it maintain this same equation, N will be equal to P will be equal to Ni, or any changes are there? N stand for number of electron, P stand for number of hole, Ni stand for number of intrinsic material. In the P type, holes it will become more or electron it will be become more?
Holes, sir. Holes. In P type holes.
I am speaking about N type.
N type electrons.
Yeah. In N type, which element it will become more? N or P? Electrons concentration, yeah, electron concentration will become more. Electron concentration will become more. Okay, so just for understanding this, I will take some numerical value. One numerical tagondu just analyze ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. Okay, so now just check it out. For intrinsic, what we have learned, the number of electron, it will be equal to number of hole, it will be equal to number of intrinsic material. What is this equation says to us? When you keep on changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin, few electron it will be get excited. That excited electron it will be moved to the conduction band. For example, out of 1 lakh silicon atom, you are providing additional energy to only 100 electrons in the valency band. Only 100 electron in the valency band. That 100 electron it will be coming out from the valency and it will be moved to the conduction. How many number of electron it will be coming out from the conduction, that many number of holes it will be created. That many numbers of holes it will be created. That only I am written using mathematically. Ne it will be equal to Nh, it will be equal to Ni. Here Ni don't compare with the how many silicon atoms are there in the crystalline lattice. Okay, so even Ni is also belongs to number of electron ORR, it not and ORR number of holes. For example, 100 electron it will be equal to 100 number of holes it will be created. The same time the intrinsic material is also 100 in the intrinsic semiconducting material. Okay, this equation is fine. Now coming to the second equation. Okay, as per the extrinsic means what? When you are adding extra means what? Pentavalent impurity. If you keep on adding a 1 atom of an pentavalent, it will be created a 1 extra electron. 1 extra electron. The general equation of the extrinsic semiconductor, it will be equal to Ne into Nh, it will be equal to Ni square. Ne it will be equal to Nh, it will be equal to Ni square. Now you can add a pentavalent impurity or trivalent impurity, whatever it may be, but RHS will be a constant. RH will be a constant. Ni square. RH will be a constant. Okay, I will repeat once again. For fabrication of an pentavalent impurity or for the p-type or the fabrication of an n-type, whatever, for fabrication of n-type or p-type, you can add the pentavalent impurity or a trivalent impurity. Okay, this Ni square will be the constant. Ni square will be the constant. Okay, so now just for understanding the second equation, I have taken some numerical value. Okay, so 10 to the power of 4. 10 to the power of 4 means what? It will be 10,000, right? 10 to the power of 4 means it will be 10,000, right? I am correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here in the intrinsic 10,000 electrons are there. How many electrons it will be coming out of the valency? That many number of holes it will be created. Even that value is also 10 to the power of 4. Even number of electron and number of hole it will be equal to 10,000 and 10,000. What about the Ni? Even Ni is also a 10,000. It's very simple in the intrinsic. Now coming to the extrinsic. Extrinsic initially, correct? So number of electron it will be equal to 10 to the power of 4 and the number of hole it will be equal to 10 to the power of 4. And what about the number of intrinsic materials in the extrinsic? It will be Ni square. Ni square means 10 to the power of 8. Ni square means 10 to the power of 8. Okay. So now I am going to add a pentavalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon. How many atoms I am going to add? 30,000 atoms. 30,000 pentavalent impurity I am going to add it to the purest form of the silicon crystal. Purest form of the silicon crystal. Now initially when you are changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to some degree Kelvin, already 10,000 electrons are coming out. 10,000 electrons are coming out. Along with that electron, you are adding a 30,000 pentavalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon. If you are adding a 30,000 impurity to the purest form of the silicon, how many electrons it will be releases? Hello. If you are adding a 30,000 pentavalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon, now how many electron it will be given to the silicon crystal?
30,000.
30,000. Initially it was
10,000.
Initially it was 10,000. 30 plus 10, now it will become 40. Your Ne, it will become 40, correct? So RHS, it should be a constant. Previously we told that the RHS, it will be a constant, 10 to the power of 8 itself. But unfortunately, when you are adding a pentavalent impurity, the number of electrons in that particular crystalline lattice, it will become 40,000. It will become 40,000. Now, what about the holes concentration here? Obviously, this equation should be satisfied, right? LHS, it will be equal to RHS. When this equation should satisfy LHS will be equal to RHS, any one of the parameter, it will be increases in the LHS side, another parameter should be decreases in the LHS. When the Ne, it will become increases, NH, it will be start decreasing. Okay, so you are adding a pentavalent. Pentavalent, obviously we know that majority are electrons, but minority will be holes are there. How many numbers of holes are there out of 40,000 of an electron? We will calculate now using this simple equation. NH, it will be equal to 10 to the power of 8 divided by 40,000. 10 to the power of 8 divided by 40,000. If you are doing 10 to the power of 8 divided by 40,000, NH, it will be equal to 2,500. NH, it will be equal to 2,500. Okay, so means out of 40,000 of an electrons, 2,500 are the holes. 2,500 are the holes, and means when you are going to compare these two values, 40,000 are, it's a huge compared to 2,500, 40,000, it's a huge. So hence, or easily you can conclude that in the N-type semiconducting material, majority are electron, and minorities are holes. Majority electron, minority holes. Now, will you tell me how many charge carriers are there? In this crystalline lattice, how many charge carriers are there? 40,000 electrons, 2,500 holes. Totally, how many charge carriers are there?
42,500 charge carriers.
42,500 charge carriers are there in the intrinsic. 42,500 are there in the intrinsic. Okay. So now, someone. Okay. So now coming to the disadvantages, what we was listed in the previous topic. Okay. The first one, current controlled by temperature, not by us. Current controlled by temperature, not by us. Okay. So for understanding this, I am given a one equation. I, it will be equal to NeAVD. N stand for the number of charge carrier. E stand for electron value, A stand for area, VD stand for velocity. VD stand for velocity. After clubbing this all the element, it will be gives the current. It will be gives the current. Okay. So now this number of and charge carriers created, it may be a 42,000 or it may be a 50,000 or it may be a 60,000. That many numbers of and charge carriers is created by you or created by automatically. As like your intrinsic. In the intrinsic, you need not to do anything, just put that element into an surroundings. When the surrounding temperature, it will be fluctuating. Based on that, the current, it will be start fluctuating. The same thing is happening in the extrinsic. Same thing is happening in the extrinsic.
Little
no,
bit.
Right? It's no, because of completely it's controlled by you. How many number of an impurity atom you are going to add, that many numbers of holes or electrons it will be created. That many numbers of holes or electron it will be created. If you are going to add a 30,000 of an arsenic atom, 30,000 electron it will be created. 30,000 electron it will be created. Okay, the completely controlling of an electron or generation of an electron, it completely it depends on you. How many number of an impurity you are going to add it to the purest form of the crystalline lattice. Okay, so how many number of an electron you are going to vary, obviously even current is also start fluctuating. If the current is also start varying, even the current is also we are controlled by us only. Okay, so this is the thing. Next one, coming to the current. current is very small. Current is very small. Okay, in the intrinsic. Now what it will be happen? Initially in the intrinsic only 10,000 electrons are there, 10,000 volts are there. It will be equal to 10,000 only. But when you are going to add a pentavalent or trivalent impurity to that, any one of the charge carrier, it will become majority. Any one of the charge carrier, it will become majority. Due to that majority charge carrier, ನೀವೇ compare ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ 10,000 ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ 40,000 ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ. Okay, so when the number of charge carrier it will be become more in your crystalline lattice, that many amperes of an current it will be go high, correct? So in such a way that the sufficient current we can generate it from that kind of an extrinsic semiconducting material. If you are using a extrinsic semiconducting material for the fabrication of and so on so active element, you can generate the very high current for the conduction of so on so element or so on so circuit. Even the second disadvantages also it will be eliminated. Okay, next coming to the third one. The third one, in the intrinsic, Ne it will be equal to Nh always. Ne it will be equal to Nh always. But in the extrinsic semiconductor, if you are going to add trivalent or pentavalent, whatever, any one type of the impurity atom, either if you are adding the pentavalent, Ne will become more than Nh and Ni. Ne is become more than Ne is become more than Nh. If you are adding a trivalent impurity, Nh is become more than Ne. Once again, this equation it will be vary in the extrinsic material in such a way that we are going to eliminate these three disadvantages with the helping of doping concept. With the help of doping concept, it may be a trivalent or it may be a pentavalent impurity. Okay, so this diagram what you are already saw that, correct? So this is the energy band and charge carriers in semiconductor when you are adding a pentavalent impurity. Okay, the same picture I am going to show it here. If you are adding a trivalent impurity, just check it out. In this way, we are going to draw the energy band diagram. And I am writing a one formula here. E will be equal to mq to the power of 4 volt divided by 2k square h square. Okay, so here this much means this equation, it will be that equation tells that, just check it out here. What are the electrons are there in the ED layer? What are the electrons are there in the ED layer for pushing or for moving this particular electron to the conduction? This particular electron to the conduction, how much energy we needed to provide? How much energy we needed to provide? Correct. So generally we are speaking with I mean it will be vary from 0.01 electron volt to 0.06 electron volt. That much energy if you provide, this all the electron you can put or you can push to the conduction band. Exactly if you wanted to calculate or in the problem, while doing the problem, we are going to use this formula for calculating the energy for pushing the electron from ED level to EC layer, ED layer to EC layer. Okay, so mq to the power of 4 divided by 2k square h square. Here h stand for Planck's constant. K value they only mention k will be equal to 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon r. You people are very much aware what is epsilon naught and epsilon r, permittivity. Okay, so Mn stand for conductive mass of an electron. Mass of an electron. Using this all the parameter, we are going to calculate how much energy it required for jumping from ED layer to EC layer. Okay, so at the same time, in the definition itself, we told that if you keep on doing a pentavalent impurity or trivalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon, the conductivity will be increases and resistivity will be decreases. Conductivity it will be increases and resistivity will be decreases. Okay, just check it out. If you dope silicon with 10 to the power of 15 arsenic atom, 10 to the power of 15, correct? So arsenic atom per centimeter cube, just check it out how much resistance it will be reduced. Initially the resistance of that silicon crystalline lattice, it will be 10 to the power of 5. Okay, after adding this much pentavalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon. Now the resistance value is only 5 ohm per centimeter. 5 ohm per centimeter. With the help of this numerical value, easily we can conclude that if you keep on increasing the doping, it may be a pentavalent or it may be a trivalent, correct? The resistance of that particular material you can reduce. The resistance of that particular material, it will be reduced. When the resistance it will be reduced, automatically the conductivity it will be increases in that particular material. Okay, so this is all about your extrinsic semiconducting material. In the extrinsic semiconducting material, we learned p-type semiconductor as well as the n-type semiconducting material. Okay, so we will stop it now. If you have any doubt, you people can ask me.